Thank you. I'm Mark Freiberg, Executive Director of Environment, Health, and Safety, and I will spare you the obvious joke of saying at UCSF, safety last. Because I'm the last topic, that's what that's about. Okay, that was a joke. Safety first here, and the way I'm going to reframe this is we strategically scheduled this presentation to just before you leave this room to go back out on the dangerous streets of San Francisco, because we hope and work so that UCSF spaces, administrative spaces, laboratory spaces are some of the safest places you can be. Just as when we had that air pollution event recently, it was actually safer to be indoors at UCSF than it was to be outside. And we have some measurements around that to prove that. All right, well, so EH&S does many things besides helping monitor air contaminants, and the photo we've got here is one of our radiation safety specialists putting what's called a phantom inside an X-ray machine to measure the power of the machine and the X-ray scatter, just to tell you what that's all about and highlight the fact that we deal with a lot of lab hazards and help you make sure that researchers in your department and you as researchers and in your group are not hurt as you do your work. All right, that's our long mission statement that we came up with, and it was too long, so we came up with a short version at the right there: promoting a safe workplace and protecting the environment. And that's Elizabeth Lynn, who is our Personal Protective Equipment, or PPE, coordinator. And I'm pleased to say that at UCSF we're one of the few schools around the country that provides centrally funded personal protective equipment. So you get free lab coats and whatnot. So make sure you take advantage of that, and Elizabeth Lynn will give you Nordstrom level service and make sure it fits. All right, so what are EH&S's safety programs? Listed here in sort of the order of some degree of importance, I'll say, because my staff aren't here. So biological safety, there's a lot of biohazardous agents used at UCSF, as you might guess. So the vast majority of labs at UCSF have authorization to work with biohazards. A lot of labs work with radiation, chemical safety, controlled substances. You can read the whole list. I won't go through it with you. But at the end is a program that I'm particularly I admire here, and I'll say admire rather than say I'm proud of it, because I didn't develop it. I've been here just a year and a half, having come from 23 years at UC Berkeley. But here at UCSF, many, many years ago, they established a program called the Department Safety Advisor Program. And it's an assigned EH&S specialist to go and work with each department to make sure that your labs have one contact with EH&S and all these different topics. So behind that contact person, we have specialists in radiation, specialists in biosafety, in chemical safety and whatnot. But you don't have to try and figure out who do I get a hold of. You just get a hold of your department safety advisor. How do you do that? You go to our website, which is ehs.ucsf.edu. And up at the top is find your DSA. So it's one of those three-letter acronyms that I guess we just expect you to know. Probably better if we spelled it out here on the home page, but you now know because you came to the talk today, Department Safety Advisor. You click on that and you'll be able to see who's assigned to your particular department and how to contact them. And there's just a graphic showing all the different, in fact this isn't even all of them, but all the different agencies that we help labs comply with. So there's a lot of rules and regulations that govern how research can be done. Some of these are actual agencies, others like ALAC there in the middle right. That's an accrediting board. If you're familiar, if you do animal research, you're very familiar with ALAC, and we just passed with flying colors our ALAC accreditation. You probably heard that from an earlier speaker or two. All right, so we help you through all this mess, and some of these agencies actually, honestly, have rules that seem to contradict one another. And so we're here to help you. And if you ever run into trouble with the agencies, we actually help show up and defend what the practices were, so long as they're defensible practices, and typically they are, if you're working at all with us. All right, so how do faculty engage with our office? Typically it's through the Department Safety Advisor as your single point of contact. But we also provide a lot of training. The majority of it this day and age is online training, and so you access that through the UC Learning Center Learning Management System, or LMS, which is available through My Access. If you can't figure out what training courses pertain to the type of work you yourself or your group is doing, we've got two resources for you. The first, you can probably already guess, is your department safety advisor. He or she can help you with that. Secondly, we have a training matrix up on our website that will help you if you're doing this kind of work, this training course is required, etc. And so we put a lot of tools up, such as that table, to help people get through the regulatory requirements and, more importantly, ensure that their lab is in fact safe and people aren't hurt. So there are requirements related to keeping an inventory of all the hazardous materials in your lab, and we know that that's not an easy one. We're actually making it easier than it has been by rolling out a whole new system, but it's too much to go into. There are requirements there around having an inventory of your hazardous materials in your lab, and that needs to be kept current, and your DSA can help you with that. We also, very importantly, authorize research involving some of the more hazardous agents like radiation, biohazards, and whatnot, controlled substances. You have to get approval through our office for that kind of work. And I say through our office because we actually work with faculty who are on research oversight committees, and technically they're the ones that review their peers' proposed work and approve it. But our office administers all that and is the one in contact with you. All right, and when? Well, you know, kind of from start to finish, cradle to grave, EH&S is there for researchers. So, you know, when first setting up a lab or bringing in new employees, your DSA will be a tremendous resource for you if you engage him or her. Moving your lab, needing to get PPE, needing to monitor what are the exposures. My people are working with perhaps a volatile chemical that's hazardous in your lab, and you want to make sure everybody's, you know, kept safe from harmful exposure levels. We can come in and do some actual monitoring and provide a report to you and the people involved. So you can see all the different things we do, including ergonomic assessments. And should you have an accident in your lab, particularly if it's a fairly significant one, please do engage us. Let us know right away. We'll help figure out what went wrong and what could be done differently. And anytime you have a question, we're available for contact, and typically through your department safety advisor, but also just through our website. Our homepage actually has a place to anonymously report hazards that you see. So if you feel uncomfortable saying, here's my name and here's what I see and I have a concern about it, you can just go to that homepage, press that button, and anonymously report the concern, and we do follow up on it. Many people report their name when they do that, which is great. And when that happens, we get back to them and say, here's how we close that issue out. Don't expect us to get back to you if you do it anonymously, okay? You'll just have to feel good, and if it doesn't get corrected, contact us again or contact me personally, and we'll make sure. But trust me, we follow up on each one of those that gets reported that way. This is just an example of many posters and other outreach tools that we have. It's a complicated one. You can't possibly read it here, and I wouldn't want to possibly take the time to try and read it to you, but it's a poster that shows the different types of hazardous waste as defined by the law. Medical waste, controlled substances, radioactive waste, mixed waste, etc. They all need to be handled in different ways, and there are all major fines for doing it the wrong way, which is why we put together a poster on this. And these are available in your lab. The DSAs are handing them out now. If it looks totally unfamiliar to you, contact me and we'll make sure you get one or more. And this is what we look like. We're friendly people. We like to work with you, so please don't hesitate to contact us. And here's the way you do it. Are there time for a question or two? No time. Yes, time. Okay. A question or two from anybody out there.